Hey, my name is Marvin and I'm the CEO and one of the founders of ditCraft. Today I'm going to show you one whole rundown of the interaction with the ditCLI and the Explorer, what it all is about and how you can use it and how it looks like when you use it. So we're going to start off fresh with a new repository, and we can create it through the ditExplorer, which is what you're seeing right here. And here you can select to create a new repository. We're going to call it demo, and then you can select which provider for Git you would use. In this case, we're just going to go with GitHub. And now in the back, it's creating the repository on GitHub for us. And we can go ahead and copy this command, go into our command line, and use the ditCLI to clone it. It's now going to clone and tell us that it hasn't been initialized to be used with ditCraft, which we're going to do right now. So we need to select some knowledge labels, which are the areas of expertise that you would use when coding on this repository. So we're going to assume it's Go, Solidity, and JavaScript, just for example. And then we send off a transaction to the blockchain, because this is all stored into our smart contracts on the blockchain, so that the corresponding knowledge tokens can be created when you participate in our protocol. So now what we're going to do is we're going to enter the repository, and to simulate changes that would occur when developing on something, we're going to switch into a branch that we call feature. And in this branch, we will edit the README file and add a new line. Boom. And we're going to, as you can see right here already, we can use the dit client like you would use the Git client. So there's no change. You can use dit add, commit, and whatever you would need in order to actually use and do your software development. So in this case, we will add a commit, add a new feature, and we will push this commit. We will push this commit. All right, now we can also see this on GitHub. I can show it to you here. Here's the repository. And you can see that there is now a new branch called feature where we have these changes. And now what we're going to do after we developed a feature, we can switch back to the master branch. And the natural thing to do would now to initiate a merge, which is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to merge the feature branch. And now something comes into play, which is what ditCraft is all about. It's the community's approval that you need to get in order to push something into the master branch, which also triggers people to review your code, which is very good. So now we're going to summarize these changes, adding an awesome feature, and we're going to select which knowledge label suits these changes the most. So we're just going to assume that this was Go, and since this is the demo mode, we have a token that simulates the XDAI, which is called XDIT. So we're just going to stake 5 fake dollars. And since we have 1.62 knowledge tokens for our label, we can use some of those to give a bit of more weight into our vote. So now we're going to say the vote takes 1 minute, and we're going to send all of this onto the blockchain, because every part that you do in order for interaction with our ditProtocol is all handled on the blockchain. You can see all the information here, that we staked 5 XDIT and that we used 1.5 of our knowledge tokens. You can see how long the vote takes. You can also get a direct link to the changes that we did, which is exactly what we're going to use. We can go here and we can see the changes that we did from GitHub directly. The vote will now take 1 minute. In this demo mode, we have some demo validators that will vote on the proposal in order to simulate users that would now go ahead and vote on what we did. We can also go into our very own ditExplorer, and you can go to the repositories page and see the repository. And the vote can also be seen here. You can see that the vote is here. Everything, you can see the commit, you can directly go to GitHub, you can see how long the vote still takes, who the person was who initiated the vote, how many participants we have, and if the stage where everyone has opened their vote is over, you can also, of course, as you can see in the other votes, you can see the outcome of a vote and who benefited in which direction. So if the vote is now ending in 22 seconds, we need to finalize the transaction on the blockchain. And then afterwards, we will be able to merge the changes that we did into the master branch. And only if the majority voted for us. If that is not the case, we are not allowed to actually do that, because that's what our protocol is about. So now we're going to go back into our terminal, and we're going to say dit finalize. It's the first vote, so it's dit finalize 1. And now it urges us to do a transaction again, which will trigger all the calculation on the blockchain, looking through the votes and seeing what the outcome was. And we can see here that it passed with 67% approval amongst the 5 validators. And we can also see that we will share the opposing voters / stakes, which is their XDIT that they staked, and the knowledge tokens that we gained. We gained now 0.31 knowledge tokens. And now we can do the same thing that we did before. We can merge the feature branch, and now it lets us do it because the community approved that these changes can be merged. And now we can push all of this into the master branch, and we can go to the repository, and we can see that these changes are now in the master branch, and this is how you use the client.